All right, get ready, because tonight we're diving deep into a story that's pretty unsettling. It's Halloween night, 1998.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah, and our source is this forum post. It's called Halloween Night Terror. And what makes this one stand out, I think, is the person telling the story. He's a war veteran.
Really?
Yeah. So this is someone who's seen some stuff, right? Like things most of us can't even imagine.
Right.
But this experience on Halloween night really shook him.
I can only imagine. It's amazing how just knowing that background about the narrator, it like instantly sets up a different kind of fear.
Yeah.
This isn't someone who's going to be scared by like a silly costume.
Right. Exactly.
So the question is, what could possibly rattle a person who's already, stared down real danger?
That's what grabbed me too. Like, what could be so scary to this guy? So this story starts pretty normal. Our veterans just chilling at home, quiet night, no decorations, no trick-or-treaters.
Just peace and quiet.
Exactly. But then late at night, bam, this like insistent banging on his front door. Yeah.
That's where the tension starts, doesn't it? It's like a classic horror movie setup.
Oh, yeah.
But it plays on something really primal, like that fear of the unknown invading your safe space.
You're totally right. So he's obviously kind of annoyed, who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
But he just peeks through the window. He doesn't open the door.
Smart.
Yeah. But then a little while later, the banging starts again, and it's even louder this time.
I don't like that.
I know, right? So now our veteran, he's not one to back down, right? He's a veteran. So he grabs his shotgun.
He's taking this seriously. That detail about the shotgun,
Yeah.
it really shows you how quickly this is escalating in his mind.
Totally. It goes from annoying to like a possible threat really fast.
Yeah.
So picture this. He looks out the window and there's this young boy standing on his porch alone late at night wearing this really creepy mask.
Oh, that's creepy. It's like one of those things that gets burned into your brain,
Yeah.
You just can't unsee it.
It's like, okay, Halloween costume, sure. But this is taking a turn.
Right. It's like something's not right here. Like, why is this kid out alone this late? And that mask, it just feels wrong.
Like a glitch in the matrix.
Exactly. Like something's off.
So the veteran, he's angry at first, of course. But then he starts to feel bad for the kid, Like, what's he doing out here all alone?
Yeah, you can see that.
So he puts down the shotgun, tries to talk to the boy, but get this. The kid doesn't say a word. Total silence.
Ooh, the silence is what makes it truly scary.
Right.
If the kid had, yelled or cried, it would almost be easier to deal with.
Yeah.
But this silence, it's unsettling. Your brain starts filling in the blanks.
It's like the silence itself is a threat.
Exactly. Like it's a weapon or something. It makes you really uncomfortable.
For sure. So the veteran's totally creeped out at this point, and he basically just shoos the kid away.
Hoping he'll just go home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even after the kid is gone, there's this feeling, this lingering feeling like something is wrong.
That's the key, isn't it? That feeling stays with him. It's like it's gotten under his skin.
Totally. And it's just going to get worse from here.
And as the night goes on and it turns to morning, you'd think things would get better for our veteran. But they don't. He wakes up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it's not to birds chirping or, the sound of the coffee maker. It's that same knocking, that insistent banging from the night before.
Oh, man. Talk about a bad way to start your day. But at least it's daylight now, right? Like, shouldn't that make him feel a little safer?
You'd think, right? But honestly, I think the daylight almost makes it creepier. That's like the darkness is following him, like it's clinging to him, even though it should be gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it's not just a nighttime thing anymore. Okay, so he hears the knocking, and he grabs his shotgun again.
Of course.
And checks outside. But guess what? No one's there.
It's like the knocking is the threat now, like this disembodied, unexplained force.
Totally. Like, it's not a masked kid you can see anymore. It's something else, something weirder.
It is. It's like the story is tapping into our fear of the unseen, the things we can't explain, Like, it's so much easier to deal with the threat you can actually see.
Absolutely. Okay, but this is where it gets even weirder. Ready for this? He discovers that his entire house has no power.
Oh, wow. That's a really smart move by whoever wrote this,
Yeah.
It makes the fear real. Like before, it was just a creepy feeling. But now the power's out, it's dark, he's isolated. It's like the story's taking away his control.
That's exactly it. It's like first the creepy kid,
Yeah.
then the knocking, and now this. Like, what's next?
Right. And don't forget, this is a veteran we're talking about, someone who's used to dealing with crazy situations. But this really gets to him.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. All his training, all that experience facing danger, it doesn't matter now. It's like a whole different kind of fear.
It is. It's like the story is saying, there are different kinds of courage. Like
Yeah.
facing down an enemy, that's one thing. But facing something you don't understand, something that messes with your sense of reality, that's a whole other thing.
That's a really good point. Oh, and to make things even worse, he checks with his neighbors, right?
Mm,
And their power is on.
it's just his house.
Yep. Just his house in the dark.
Ooh, that's good detail. It really makes it feel like he's being targeted.
Right. Like, this isn't some random outage. It's something else. And it
Yeah.
makes you wonder about that kid. Was it just a coincidence he showed up? Or was he somehow connected to the power going out?
It's the question that hangs over the whole story, isn't it? It's like the story wants us to be creeped out and wonder what's really going on.
Totally. And it never gives us any answers,
Hmm.
which is almost scarier. It's like we have to fill in the blanks ourselves.
And that's what's so brilliant about Halloween Night Terror. It's not just a scary story. It's like it makes us think about what scares us. Like, what is it about the unknown that really gets to us?
I like that. It's like the story holds up a mirror to our own fears.
Right. Our anxieties about the things we don't understand.
It's the kind of story that sticks with you. It makes you look around and wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's more going on than we realize.
I think that's a great way to wrap up this part of the deep dive. We've looked at what happened that Halloween night. We've talked about why it's so scary. But the big question is, what does it all mean? What can we learn from this story? What can we learn from our own experiences with things that we just can't explain?
So we've gone through this whole creepy story, the events, the psychology of it all. But I think the big question is like, what does it all mean? What can we take away from Halloween Night Terror?
What really gets me about this story is that it shows us how little we really understand. Even someone like the veteran, right? He's faced real danger.
Right.
But this experience, it just shows us that no matter how much we think we know, there's always going to be things that we just can't explain. Things that, make us question what's real.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just about being afraid of the dark or ghosts or whatever. It's about like realizing that there are limits to our knowledge, that there might be things out there that we don't get.
Exactly. And I think that's a scary thought for a lot of people, especially, someone like the veteran. He seems like someone who wants to believe he has control, that he
Right.
can figure things out. But then this happens and it like breaks that illusion.
Yeah, like his whole worldview is shaken. And the story doesn't give us any answers, does it? It's like
Yeah.
we're left with this feeling of unease, like maybe some things just can't be explained.
Right. And I think that's what makes it so powerful. It's like the story is saying, here's this experience, now deal with it. Figure it out. It's like a challenge to confront those feelings of anxiety about the unknown, to accept that maybe we don't have all the answers.
It's definitely a challenge. Like, can you be okay with not knowing everything? Can you be okay with the fact that some things are just, well, weird?
Yeah. And it makes you think, right? Like, what do you do when things don't make sense? When your normal way of looking at the world just doesn't work anymore?
That's a really good question. It makes me think about all the times I've felt confused or scared by something I didn't understand. Do you, like, run away from it? Or do you try to, I don't know, learn from it?
That's a great point. I think that's what we can really learn from this deep dive. It's not just about being scared. It's
Mhm.
about how we deal with those scary, confusing things. It's about, growing and learning and maybe expanding our idea of what's possible.
So as we wrap up, what's like the one thing you want to leave our listeners with?
I would say think about your own experiences with the unknown. Have you ever had something happen that you just couldn't explain? How did it make you feel? What did you do? Because it's in those moments when we're faced with those mysteries that we really learn what we're made of.
I love that. So to everyone listening, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, sometimes the most interesting things are the ones we don't understand. And until next time, thanks for joining us for the deep dive.